Hello. Um, so, again, with another one of my just going through the different types of devil fruits that are Zoan types. And this video, I'm going to be going over the different smile, the artificial zone users and the devil fruits that we've seen thus far. Just a quick overview of pretty much all the ones that we know the names of for these ones, or just have kind of seen in the background that I like for these different ones, and then just brief overview of, I guess, whether or not I would be okay with if I had a smile at manifesting in this way. Spoiler alert, most of them no. Most of the ones, however their smile appears, I don't want that. Some of them are okay, not all of them. But back here I've got an elephant, I've got a giraffe, I've got Simba representing a lion, I've got a llama that's kind of representing an alpaca. I have a mulga representing the flying squirrel because of bowwang. I have a horse for speed. I have a snake for the various snake ones we've seen. And I have an armadillo over here. It's so cute. I got it at our zoo here in town, and I wanted to use it in a video for a while. Armadillo. Go over there. So of course it's just going to be mostly me going over a lot of the different, the gifters and such, and some of the headliners that are of course part of the Beast Pirates crew. But there's one other, and we'll start with that one first, since they are technically the first artificial zone that we meet, and that would of course be Kozuki Maminosuke, who is of course canonically 29 years old, now actually physically 29 years old, mentally still 8 years old, although he's had to grow up very quickly in the last several chapters, very quickly, literally and figuratively, but so of course we meet him way back on Punk Hazard, of course, and he ends up, he was so starving and everything after everything that happened with having to leave Wano and then leave Zoe and then leave Dressrosa, and then ended up on Punk Hazard and everything, and around all the other children. He eats the artificial version of the Uenomi model Seiryu, which actually, I don't know what the Japanese name for pink is, but it would actually kind of be like the pink dragon in this case, not the blue dragon. Artificial zone that Vegapunk made as kind of cloning the lineage factor of Kaido's devil fruit. And, Momonosuke ate that, and of course we see him throughout the Punk Hazard arc shift, basically as a dragon for the majority of the arc, and then he changes into a boy at the end of the arc, and we see that, oh, he's a child. And then, of course, subsequently throughout the remainder of the series so far, he keeps shifting back and forth between, his dragon form and his child form. He can be in his child form kind of while he's calm and everything, but then if he gets very, very scared, usually, he will, of course, shift into the dragon form. And now at the moment, thanks to Shinobu and her, mature fruit has, aged him up into his, physically what he would be 28 years old. And his pink dragon form looks very, very similar to Kaido's dragon, except it's pink, not blue, of course, or peach, as they keep referring to, because, of course, Momo is peach. So, so we see a lot of that, and, he can manifest, the clouds. I don't know if he can do a Boro breath. We'll see what happens with that. That might be something that has to come more with training, but he can manifest, the little clouds that allow him to, fly, and he can, pull Onigashima as he's been doing and everything. So we'll see what happens with that. How exactly that lands, depending on how this lands when it comes out, I don't know how that's going to fall with where the chapters are at that point, so we'll see what happens at that point. But of course that devil fruit was deemed a failure by Vegapunk. We don't know if he actually considered it a failure, or he's just I'm just going to tell the world government this is a failure because I don't want them trying to get their hands on this devil fruit and then feeding it to someone who does not want it. Or feeding it to someone who would work for them. Either one would probably not be good. Now we're going to, of course, move into the smiles. And of course, the smiles are the artificial devil fruits that were made by Caesar Clown with his SAD, the sad stuff, and then taken to Dressrosa, and it's grown there in the factory, in the devil fruit factory by, you know, Doflamingo with, you know, all the tontadas and everything. And those devil fruits are then, you know, once they're fully done, are then shipped off to, of course, Kaido for him to then distribute to his, you know, beast pirates. From the ones that are no longer the waiters, give them to them, and then, you know, 1 out of 10, because they're 1 in 10 chance of actually succeeding, sadly, you know, 1 out of every 10 of them actually get to power. Now, as of course it's been explained, that it's completely random on what type of animal they're going to get. If it works, 9 out of the 10 of them end up just becoming pleasures, and all they can, you know, they don't have their emotions anymore. They can just smile and everything, which is unfortunately what's happened to a lot of the people in Wano, a lot of the people in Ebisu Town, including Toko, and such. So we've seen a lot of that, unfortunately, the downsides of that, which, yeah, no, that's just one main reason why I would not want to eat one of these Smile Devil fruits, because it's just like, I don't want to risk the 9 out of 10 chance that I will no longer be able to emote anything beyond smiling and looking demented the entire time. I don't want that. You know, unless I was like somehow guaranteed the thing of like, oh, if I get a really good one, maybe it'll manifest at least helpfully for me. Most of them don't. But, you know, we get that whole thing. So I wouldn't want to eat a Smile anyway if I knew what it was. If I had to eat any of the artificial zones, I would go with the one that Maminosuke ate, because it's like, I'm going to trust Vegapunk knowledge over Caesar Clown knowledge. It's like, I'll trust Vegapunk over Caesar Clown in this case, so I'd rather eat that one. If I have to eat any of them, I'm just like, I'm just going to eat that one over there. Why? I turn into a dragon. Go away. It's like, I lose my ability to swim, but I turn into a dragon, and it's a, you know, I don't know what color dragon I would be. I don't know. But, you know, I'd have that. But, you know, he gives them to the waiters, and then of course they turn into either the pleasures or the gifters, and then if the gifters are very, very strong, then they get turned, you know, then they become the headliners, some of the headliners. Like Hold'em and such, and I'll be going through all of that. So starting with that, some of the first ones that we see throughout, of course, the story are, we see sheep's, well, it's either sheep's head or sheepshed, depending on which one you want to go with. And he's kind of the first gifter that we're introduced to. He has a sheep smile, and it grants him the physical characteristics of a sheep. They're a little bit different than what we've seen with other smiles, because he can actually, like, not always have, like, his wool showing, and he can, like, pop out his wool and, like, manipulate his wool. So I don't, maybe he just happened to be rather strong before everything, and then he got the devil fruit, and then, like, he, like, trained with it a lot. Maybe, I don't know. Currently, we do not know if he is alive, because the last we saw of him was getting rushed over water and sent flying by, you know, Zunisha. So I don't know if he's still alive, but he was one of the, you know, one of the pleasures, or one of the gifters that attacked, attacked Zoe with Jack, looking for Raizo. And of course, one of the other ones that we see is, of course, Jin Rummy. We know she's not a pleasure because we see her be angry, but we don't know what type of, you know, artificial zone she got. We don't know. She has horns, but we don't know anything else beyond that. I don't think we ever see her do anything. So I guess depending on, like, what her one was, which maybe someday will get revealed, but I don't know. Data book, maybe, I don't know. You know, don't know exactly what she would have gotten, but I guess maybe that one might be, like, at least a decent one to get, depending on what it turned, you know, what she physically gained the characteristics of. We don't know. Down the line, and then most of the rest of these, I believe, are just kind of introduced throughout the course of Wano. So we have Batman. Who's my favorite Batman? Christopher Nolan ones aren't bad. In regards to Christian Bale, he did pretty good. I haven't seen any of the Justice League movies, so I have no idea exactly how Ben Affleck did. Although from what I've heard, he didn't do well. And I have not yet seen the new one with Robert Pattinson, so I don't know. But no, different Batman. Batman is just one of the random gifters that we see on Onigashima, I believe, or not Onigashima, on Wano. I think he's one of the ones that's trying to, like, kidnap Tama. He just has the physical characteristics of a bat. And they didn't seem to manifest very well, but I've seen worse. And he can fly. Doesn't really do too much else. I'm sure he's got, like, echolocation, so maybe that's helpful. And then we have Gazelle Man. Okay, Gazelle Man is not that impressive. He can run fast, but he clearly has asthma. And is not designed for running fast. He has, of course, the physical characteristics of a gazelle. So he's got, like, longer gazelle legs on the bottom half of his body and everything. And I think he needs to work out a little bit more if he's going to try to be running the way that a gazelle can run. Then we have... there's also a Rabbit Man in here. I think he's part of that same group of, like, Gazelle Man and Batman. And he just kind of has, like, the physical characteristics of a rabbit. And not a rabbit I would want, coming from the bunny girl. But so he's not all that interesting by any means. And then we have Hold'em, who is, of course, one of the headliners, I believe. And we have Hold'em, as I said, who's one of the headliners, and he has a lion smile, which is why we got Simba over here. Sorry, Simba. And his has manifested more as, like, a lion that comes out of his stomach. And somehow the lion can breathe fire, although this is never explained why the lion can breathe fire. But the lion has, like, a mind of its own. Because at least with some of them, it was like with sheep shit, it doesn't look like his sheep manifested with, like, its own mind. He seems to have full control over it. Same thing, like Batman, Gazelle Man. Hold'em not so much with his Kami Joe, and they have conflicting personalities, and it likes to punch him in the balls, which is hilarious. Although I do believe that Hold'em was given a dongo, so I think he is now, like, following Tama, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And then, of course, we have the main one that we interact with throughout the course of Wano thus far, is, of course, Speed, and she's my favorite gifter. Gifter/headliner. She, of course, has the horse smile, and it gives her the physical characteristics of a horse and the fact that she looks like a centaur. I also just really like her cover scheme, and she fights with a bow and arrow. She also seems to have, at the very least, armament hockey, possibly observation hockey as well. We know that she, of course, was given a dongo, one of, Tama's dongos by Luffy, and now she's, loyal to Tama, and she's been helping Tama on Onigashima and everything, along with a bunch of the other, smiles that, were given the dongos, a bunch of the other gifters that were given the dongos from Tama. So, I like Speed. I mean, like, I guess there's the whole thing that if, like, Tama goes with the Straw Hats, which at the moment, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I can see Momo, since he's, like, physically grown up now, that maybe he can go with the Straw Hats. But, I don't know if, like, they would take Tama with them, even with, like, Ace's promise. But it might be, like, Luffy might still do the whole thing of, like, well, you stay here and you keep getting stronger, and then I will come and get you back. And then you can actually travel with us. So I can see that happening. Like, maybe Speed would go with her. But the thing is that, like, because Tama is loyal to Maminosuke, to the Kozuki clan, regardless of whatever her own heritage is, she is loyal to them. And by that extension, all of the different gifters that were given the dongos are all also loyal to the Kozuki clan via Tama. So, they would probably be like, Tama would probably be like, okay, as, like, I want, maybe she'll become a vassal. I'm going into Tama stuff, never mind. But, she'll become a vassal maybe for the Kozukis, and then, like, all of the different, smiles that are, all the different gifters that are under her control, would then, like, they would, kind of obey Maminosuke as well, as long as he doesn't give them, like, an order that conflicts with something from Tama. Down the line, we have Snake Man. I don't remember where he pops up in the story. He has a snake that comes out of his stomach, I think. His abdomen where his belt is, and the snake tail comes from his back. So the snake looks like it's going through him. I don't remember this smile, I'm sorry. So I don't know anything about him. And then this is where I have Rabbit Man written down. Again, rabbit ears, fluff, not, I already talked about him. Then we have Sarahebi, who is, of course, the snake smile that we see that is teaching all of the children in the classroom when we're first introduced to Wano. And, she can, extend her neck out. So maybe she did training to, be able to, compress her neck down, maybe. Because I do know that snakes, they can, compress and then strike out. So maybe that's kind of what they're aiming at with that, or what Oda's aiming at for Sarahebi. I do like Sarahebi's design. Don't know, she's knocked out at the moment because she's part of, Black Maria's group. She's knocked out at the moment because, Brooke knocked her and the other ones out. Yeah. And then we have Doban Dubon, whatever, who is, the hippopotamus smile. I do not have any hippos. I don't. I have a Hippowdon that I'm using quite well in Legends Arceus right now, but I don't have any stuffed hippos or anything like that. But he is, of course, the I think he's the the assistant jailer or something like that, or the lieutenant jailer at Udon Prison, if I remember correctly. And he has this hippo smile, and his, of course, hippo smile is manifested in an extremely weird way. And I'm just again, no. It's whole hippo's body, head, body, everything. And then he is literally he's it manifested to the point where he just looks like he's inside the mouth. And then of course it will close its mouth on him, which is just funny. Which is just I mean, the hippo obviously has a mind of its own, and it's just nope, closed. And that's just funny. Doban, I don't remember if Doban is currently under the control of Tama or not. I don't remember. He might be. And then of course we have Alpaca Man, who just looks like an alpaca. Grants him the physical characteristics of an alpaca. I like alpacas. I think I've petted an alpaca before, either at the zoo or somewhere else. I've petted llamas. They're soft and they're stubborn, but they were very nice when I was around the llamas, but different thing. That's the whole Emperor's New Groove concept that I've already done in a review for. But, we see a lot of that, we see, the Alpaca Man there. He's just one of the other gifters that works at the Udon Prison. We don't see that much of him. And then we have Difugo, who is a scorpion smile, which, okay, his manifestations for the way that manifest for him aren't actually that bad. He doesn't seem to be at war kind of with his own, or in conflict with his own smile. He seems to have pretty good control of it. He's probably got a poisonous tail since it's a scorpion. He's got a bunch of legs and he can crawl on the ceiling and everything. He is under Tama's control. I know that. But he seems fine. So his Difugo's version of the smile for the way that it manifested for him is not bad. I wouldn't mind his. I don't like scorpions, but I wouldn't mind his. So his isn't too bad. And let's see, of course we have Babanooki. I debated about going through and explaining all the ones that are named after card games, and I'm just no, I don't care. We have Babanooki, who of course has the elephant smile, which is why I have my elephant over here. And he is he's the head of the Udon Prison, and his elephant manifests in his chest. I'm again no, don't want that. Do not want that. And what happens is, he cleverly has come up with the whole, put the cannonball in the elephant's trunk, and then the elephant can fire the cannonball. Okay, that's a decent way of doing it. Okay, you get points for that. But, and I like the fact that, the animals do not seem to follow the exact color scheme of all the animals, because, Doban is pink, and, Difugo, or not Difugo, well, Difugo is kind of, bluish, purplish blue, but, Babanooki is yellow, and it's I know for a fact elephants are not yellow. I know that for a fact. Mostly because I've seen multiple elephants in person, and none of them were yellow. But, so there's a bunch of stuff that goes on with, Babanooki, and he gets poisoned, and then he's helped, and then, like, he gets fed the dongo, so he's under Tama's control and everything, and of course he lies to, Queen about what's going on at the Udon prison, everything, so that's helpful. Then we have Solitaire, and Solitaire, I like Solitaire's design, and of course she's based off of, like, a monkey, but it's kind of manifested a little bit more as, like, a spider monkey concept, which I kind of like, because I like spider monkeys. But it grants her the physical characteristics of a monkey. So I think she does have a tail, but that she actually has like 6 arms, which is a reference to like Spider Solitaire, the card game, of course, which I actually kind of like playing Spider Solitaire, but it's like that reference. So I do like Solitaire's design. She's got like 6 swords, so like her and Zoro could have like a sword match. I know Zoro would just like wipe the floor with her, but like, I mean, like, at least come on, watching Zoro fight against someone that has like 6 swords would kind of be fun for a little bit. For like the all of like, maybe 3-4 seconds that she would last at this point in time. But, I like Solitaire's design. She's another one that I wouldn't mind, 6 arms, so, 4 extra arms wouldn't be that bad. Wouldn't be that bad for, being able to, like, cook and clean and everything at that point in time. That wouldn't be too bad. And then we have Madillo Man, who actually is an armadillo smile, but he's just called Madillo Man instead. Stuffed armadillo over here. He has, like, the shell, the protective shell of an armadillo. His manifestation is not too bad. Not one that I would want, but it's not too bad. There's far worse ones on this one. Just look at Doban. I would say out of most of them, Doban probably got the short end of the stick, because at least, speed, for her, it's just like her horse, like, instincts kind of kick in when someone puts food in front of her face, or like she has like the really goofy, like, horse smile, but, it's not that bad. She can deal with that. I mean, like, an armadillo would not be that bad. You can, like, roll up in the shell, and I think that's kind of what he does. He'll, like, roll up in his shell, and, like, he's got high defensive specs, I would assume. Giant armadillo shell coming out of his back. So not that bad. And then we have Dachomon, who I do not remember off the top of my head. He has an ostrich smile, from what my notes say, and I don't remember him, so he's probably just in the background, not a major or anything like that. From what I remember, he has a long feathery neck of an ostrich, so go bury your head in the sand. Actually, don't do that. I deal with way too many people that bury their head in the sand. It's not a healthy lifestyle. And then we have, who is probably one of my second favorite smile users, gifters, and that is bowwang, who is, of course, Kaido's secretary, which I already find hilarious that Kaido has a secretary, and that it kind of appears to be like a small child. And she just is like, she has the flying squirrel, smile, and that's just adorable. So she can, like, jump around. She's, like, connected into, like, the Mary system that they have all over the island that they use for, like, security and everything like that. So she's probably pretty, good at, like, handling a lot of that information and everything. So she would be able to give Kaido updates on things pretty quickly around Onigashima. And she has, like, the tail of, like, a flying squirrel, and then, of course, we see her in a kimono most of the time, and, like, her kimono probably, like, helps with, like, her being able to glide as, like, a flying squirrel, because I think we see her glide every now and then and, like, jump down and stuff like that. I love flying squirrels. They are so cute. They are so cute. And then we have another snake one, and that is Tenjou Sagari. I probably just completely butchered that name. But she is a white snake smile. She's one of the ones that's part of, like, Black Maria's little clique. I've got a couple of them here. There's, like, a couple of the part of Black Maria's clique has a lot of, like, snake smiles in it, because, like, Sarahebi is part of that, and then we have Tenjou Sagari, who is part of that as well. She just has, like, the physical characteristics, like, her lower body is like that of, like, a snake's, so she kind of looks like a naga. Like the half woman, half snake, or half human, half snake type creatures that you see sometimes in, like, different mythologies. So she kind of looks like that, which is kind of cool. So I kind of like her design a little bit. I'm like, the bottom half of a snake wouldn't be that bad. I mean, there's worse things. speaking of worse, we have Briscola, who has the gorilla smile that manifested in the form of the gorilla literally popping out of his arm. I mean, it's a good thing that a lot of Kaido's, you know, soldiers for the pleasures and the gifters and everything. It's a good thing a lot of their, you know, outfits look very easily removable at times and don't require a lot of, like, they have pieces on them, so, you know, Briscola can put on his clothes without worrying about, like, disturbing the gorilla on his arm. Stupid manifestation of gorilla. Would not want. And then we have two other ones that are very much not variations of what I want. We have Fortrix, who is, of course, the chicken smile. And his basically has resulted in him having what basically looks like his head coming out of the chicken's butt, which I know is not the case, but that's just kind of how it looks. It's like the chicken head is kind of coming out of, like, his back. You know, I'm just like, no, why? No. No. And then we have Hamlet. Again, not very good versions of this. And at the moment, Fortrix and Hamlet, I believe, or I know at least Hamlet is under Tama's control, but Hamlet is, of course, the giraffe smile with the giraffe's, like, all of the giraffe's body coming out of the back of out of his back, so he kind of, like, is in the air, and then the giraffe is on the ground. And, like, Fortrix and Hamlet just kind of get kicked away by, like, Sanji and Jinbei when they interact with him. They get a whole thing of, like, I'm Fortrix, I'm Hamlet, kick. Go away! Your designs are stupid! I'm like, true, they are stupid in that case. I mean, I like giraffes. My mom loves giraffes. The lady that my mom works with loves giraffes. I would not want this version of a giraffe smile. I don't. I'd prefer Kaku's, who, of course, just turns physically into a giraffe. You know, giraffe hybrid. I'd prefer that. Just, no. And then we have... another gorilla smile. We have Mizerka, who is the gorilla has kind of manifested in her upper body, so it looks like she's kind of like stuck in the gorilla, which I'm like, again, no. Would not want. No. And the gorilla is pink, is the gorilla pink or blue? One of the two. And then we have Poker, who is a rattlesnake smile. I've seen lots of rattlesnakes in my lives at zoos and everything, never in the wild, thank God. But, you know, he has, like, his rattlesnake basically is, like, it looks like it starts on one leg and then goes up over, like, we see it come out of his shoulders and then back down the other leg. So it's just like he's got the tail on one end and the mouth on the other, and, like, then, like, this loop over his shoulders. And so you'd be walking on the snake the entire time, and I would not blame the damn thing if it makes you fall. Just like, no. No. And then we have a couple of other snake/lizards ones. We have Nure Uena, something like that, who is a Hognose Snake smile, and she's one of, like, Black Maria's little group, like with Starahebi and such, and she has, like, the physical characteristics of a Hognose Snake, again, longer neck and everything. I don't know, maybe Black Maria likes snake women. I don't know, because we've got, like, 3 of them in her little group already. And then we have Cayman Lady, who is literally... like, she's a smile that has, like, a caiman coming out of, like, her legs. Like, her legs are like a crocodile. Caiman are a variation of a species of crocodile, mostly found in Central and South America, if I remember correctly. So we have that, but there's not really you know, she's part of the group that's with Black Maria when they're getting Sanji and everything, but we don't really see that much else of her. Like, I'm assuming her, you know, Cayman will snap at you if you make her angry or something like that, but, or make it angry, but I don't know. And then we have Juan Yudo, who is a pug smile, who is, of course, the pug that, like, Black Maria has inside of her giant Juan Yudo staff. That, you know, the pug like runs around in the staff and everything, and I'm just like, I feel sorry for this guy because I don't think he know what he signed up for. I think it was like he manifested that way, and like Black Maria's looking him over and like, come here, I have a use for you. Like just picks him up and takes him away. Him, help. You're gonna go in the stick. Okay. You know, I was just like, what are you gonna do? Say no to her? You're gonna die very quickly if you do that. So yeah, we have them. And then we have, I think we have like a couple of, well, non-canon / more just background smiles. So we have Bear Man, who is this, he's a non-canon one, but I think he's at like Udon prison when they're there. And he's just like this, he looks like a bear. And he's green. And then like when he opens, like when the bear opens his mouth, that's when you see like the guy's face inside of the bear. Which is very weird and not a variation that I would want. No. We see various bird gifters throughout the course. Several of them seem to work with King, because we see them trying to protect like everybody else going to the roof and everything like that. So we see some of the bird smiles. Admittedly, the ones that are the bird smiles that have like their wings just kind of manifested or so, or like have claw talons on their feet, those ones wouldn't be too bad because you'd be kind of like Monet, whichever one you want to go with for the pronunciation, from, you know, Punk Hazard. So you wouldn't be too bad with that one. But again, I don't know how good you would be at, like, still using your own hands. Maybe your hands are buried in the feathers. I don't know. And then we do have a butterfly gifter that I actually do like her design quite a bit. She's just kind of one of the background gifters. Don't really get anything else about her. And then we have the armored division of gifters that are all the ones that seem to work quite a bit with... I was about to say Sakazuki, but that's wrong. Sasaki. Yes, the Admiral has gone and joined the Armored Division. No, Sasaki. Because, of course, he's a Triceratops, so he, of course, has, like, a bunch of different, like, armored-based ones that are around him. And, like, we see a stag beetle gifter, we see a mantis gifter, we see a tortoise gifter, and we see, like, a hedgehog gifter. I would assume that, like, maybe Madillo Man might also have been part of this group, and there's probably a few other ones that we see around him. I know a bunch of these ones I think got turned into, like got, you know, shifted to Thomas' side because of like Usopp and like the Dongo firing off of stuff. And of course, we know like a bunch of the other ones are like on Thomas' side now and everything like that. So, you know, there's that aspect, but there's not really too many other ones that I needed to mention here. One I did want to throw in here is, of course, we know that Killer... you know, Killer from the, you know, Kid Pirates, that he was given a smile by Orochi, and, like, you know, oh, if this smile works and everything, then you can, you know, then you can have, you know, your captain back or whatever. And we know that the smile did not work because he, of course, is stuck with his smiling and his laughing and everything that he does not like to do and everything, and he got turned into Kamazo the Killer and everything, with his scythe blades and everything like that. But in one of the SBSs, I think it was, Oda did draw kind of like, someone asked like what Killer would have looked like with his smile. And it was like this weird fricked up version of an elephant. And I'm just like, what? No, just no. No. I would like this. That would be an interesting thing to see, like him try to fight Kaido that way with like his scythe blades trying to work like that with like as a giant elephant thing, but no. I would be like, if that happened to Killer, I'd be like, I am so sorry, Killer. I'm sorry. I still kind of want us to see what Killer's face looks like without the mask on, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. That would surprise me if it happens, but I'm not expecting it to. But so we got that. So there's not really too much else. You know, there might be a couple of other smile gifters that get introduced, but I don't particularly see that, since, you know, at the moment that I'm recording this, Luffy, you know, has gone giant and tried to fight Kaido and is on top of Onigashima again and using his Toon World logic, which I will be. The final video for this series should be the different mythological zones. So that would include the different ones that we've seen already, plus Luffy's, of course. And I kind of wanted to give that one like an extra week or two just to kind of see how that landed in regards to if we see him demonstrate any other abilities or something like that before I did the God one. Well, God one and God Nika, but did that one. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's what I have for the artificial zone gifters, smiles, whatever you want to call them. Out of all the smiles out of all the artificial devil fruits available, I would rather have Maminosuke's, because at least then I can shift back and forth between human and dragon, and I'd get to be a freaking dragon, so that'd be fun. And then if I had to pick between any of the like the actual gifters for like what version of like a smile devil fruit that I would have and how it would manifest, I would prefer either speed or solitaire or bowwang. One of those three would be like the one that I would have, like, or well, the butterfly smile wasn't bad either. Hers was pretty good too. So I wouldn't mind any of those ones, but that's what we have. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day. Bye. The people of Ebisu Town, no matter how sad they are, no matter how hard it is for them, they are unable to show such emotions. They have been robbed of their ability to do anything but smile. All they can do is laugh. It is all because of what Kaido and Orochi brought to this country. The fruit known as Smile.